Welcome to the series of Microsoft Azure. So we started exploring the Azure Data Factory. Uh, in the previous video, uh, we started ETL Extract Transform Load as a service, and I will demonstrate each process of the code-free ETL as a service, like the ingest, control for data flow, and schedule and monitor. I introduce some of the components of the ingest, like Azure Blob storage, Azure link service, Azure Dataset, ADF pipeline. You can check the link of the full playlist in the upper right corner, where you will find all the videos. Today we will create a pipeline for this scenario: ingest data from an on-premises SQL Server database into Azure Blob storage. So first we will create the Azure Blob storage from the Azure portal. So let's get started. So you can see I have signed in the portal.azure.com. So first I have to create a storage account. So I will create a resource, and here I will search the marketplace. Then from the search service and the marketplace box, I will search by typing the storage account. And I will pick this one, the storage account. Use blobs, tables, queues, files, and the data like chain 2 for the reliable economy. So I will click on it. Next, I will click on the create button. And here my subscription is the pay as you go, and the resource group. I have the data factory RG241. If I go to the resource group 1, and you can see we have the 4 resource group, and this data factory we created in the previous video for the ATF pipeline. So if I show you, the HTML TF is our Azure Data Factory we created, and here we also created a branch, develop branch, and we configured the Azure DevOps Kit repository. So I'll pick that one, the RG591. The resource group and the storage account name will be the HTML Blob. And will be standard. Next, I will go to the advanced. And in the advanced, I will leave as it is, and the minimum TLS version will be the version 1.2. Next, the networking. Enable public access from all networks. Routing by Microsoft routing. Enable soft delete for the blobs. Enable soft delete for the containers. I will leave as it is. Next is the encryption. Microsoft managed key. And the blobs and files only. Next tags I will remain empty. And review. It's validated. Now I can create this storage account. So deployment is in progress. Next, deployment successfully. And now I will go to the resource group, the data factory RG591, and here I can see the data factory, and here it counts the HTML blob, the storage account, and I will go inside the storage account and create the container. And you can see, if I go to the container, I will create a container here like demo cell. we'll create this one and successfully created containers. Now for the ingest pipeline here, the Azure Blob storage created and SQL Server database we already have. Next, the components, we need to create the link service, create to link service that store the connection information for the SQL Server and the Azure Blob storage. Now I will go to the ADF and create two link services. So now if I go to the Azure Data Factory, and here is our in the branch, the develop branch I will work, and in the manage tab, you can see the link service. I will create new link service, and it will be the blob, Azure Blob storage. From the Azure subscription, the pay as you go, and the storage account name will be the HTML blob. And name will be demo sales blob. Demo sales blob link service. Authentication type will be the account key, and I will create. It's successfully created. Next, I will create a one for the SQL Server. So if I search for the SQL, Azure SQL database, continue. The subscription will be the pay as you go, and the server name is the HTML demo, and the database name will be the HTML demo. Authentication is the SQL authentication. Username I have, and the password I will provide, and I will test connection. So the connection failed. Seems like the password was wrong. Now you can see the connection successful. I will name it the demo sales SQL ls, and I will create. So we created this two link service, for one for the blob and the next for the SQL database. So first ensure that from the SQL server, this as Azure service and resource to access this server. This is my SQL server. You can see in the firewall rule, I have my machine IP. Now, if after creating the link service, we have to create the dataset by using this link service. So I will create the dataset, new dataset. First one will be the SQL, Azure SQL database. Continue, and the link service will be demo sales SQL ls, and it will be the demo sales SQL ds for the dataset, and the table name will be the sales table, and the import schema will be none. So dataset created, you can see. Now if I preview data, I can see the data of the sales data here. So I will save it. Next, I will create another dataset for the blob, Azure blob storage, and my file will be the CSV file. And here I choose the blob ls, and here will be the demo sales blob ds. In the container we created, we can browse from it, the demo cell container, and we can choose it. file path and import schema will be none. So I will save it. So successfully saved. So we created the two link service and create also the two dataset. Next we will create the copy data activity to configure the source dataset and the destination dataset. So I will close this two and I will go to the pipeline and I will create the new pipeline. The pipeline name will be the demo sales from SQL to Blob. Okay. Now I will use the copy data activity. Use a copy data activity and configure the source dataset and the destination dataset. So just search the activity copy data. So you have the copy data. You can drag it here and you can name it the copy data from SQL to Blob. And the copy data activity has the source and sink. So basically the copy data activity requires specifying a source dataset and destination dataset. This dataset represents the data structure and location of the source and destination data source respectively. So the source dataset will be our demo sales SQL DS and the table will be so we have the sales table, so it will take the sales table and the sink will be our Azure demo sales blob DS. In the copy behavior will be the flatten hierarchy. We don't need the max connections and the file extensions will be the CSV. Next I will save all. So it is successfully saved in the Git repository develop branch and next I will validate all. Factory validation output. It's next if I debug it, so it will run the pipeline. So you can see it started running. Copy data activity queued and you can see the input here. The input here source is the Azure SQL source and the sink is the delimited text sink to the Azure Blob storage, and we have the file extension true. It's queued and it succeeded, you can see. And for here you can export the JSON of the whole pipeline. Here we have the name of the pipeline and the activities name in the activities policies, source, sink, inputs and outputs all. Now I can check the input here. I already checked the input and next I can check the output also. Here is the output. Data read 4500, rows read 100, so we have the 100, rows copy it's 100. Now we can check the blob. From the blob DS I can check, I can browse, and inside demo cells we have this a CSV. We can rename it. We will see it later. How can I rename it? So it's successful. So if you debug, you actually check the and you can trigger here. So if I trigger it, so I will show the trigger later. First I will check from here, from the blob, it's written or not. So here is our blob. And open in Explorer. We can open, you can download the Azure if you don't have open, you can access the file in the Azure Storage Explorer. So if you don't have the Azure Storage Explorer, please download it. You can easily access from the Azure Storage Explorer. Otherwise, you can go to the container, and inside container the demo cells, and here is our file, the CSV file. I can download it. Download. I can download it, and if I open it, you can see this is our sales data, which comes from our table. You can compare it with our database. So if I go to the tables, and if I select top 100 rows, I selected top 1000 rows, but we have the 100 rows. So you can see this is the results. So we have 100 rows, and first in the 678.7 customer ID 17, and this is the 74 and 17 and row version 74. You can compare like this. It is same, and it's from the 710. So we successfully created the pipelines for the process of the ingest. Here, this scenario, ingest data from an on-premises SQL database server into the Azure Blob storage. So in the next videos of the series, we will explore more on the ADF sites. So we can rename the CSV file while copying. We can do lots of things. We can do mapping. We can also do vice versa things, like from the CSV we can insert the data from the CSV to the SQL table. So we'll show all in the upcoming video. I hope you like the video. If you want such videos more, you can comment, and you can like the video, and please share the video, and please subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you.